Good morning, 1-2 class. I'm Ben.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Sarah.
Two.
Good morning, 1-2s. How are you guys going today? Good? Great. All right, now today we are doing some PE and we're going to have a really fun lesson. Me and the other teachers have an exciting lesson planned for today. So we're going to start with a warm-up activity, which I'll explain in a minute. Then we're going to learn two skills today. We're going to learn throwing and galloping, and we're going to learn the correct techniques to do these skills really well. And then at the end, we're going to do a warm-down activity where you guys all get the chance to show me and the other teachers what you've learned. So make sure you're listening really well today, because at the end, you'll have to share what you've learned. Now, before we get into the warm-up activity, two important things we need to remember, guys. First of all, if at any point throughout the class you need, we've got our sunscreen here, so make sure everyone's wearing their sunscreen. Yes? Good. And secondly, and most importantly, what we don't want to forget is our class rules. How to be a PE star. Okay, so we all know that being a PE star means S, staying focused and safe. T, when the teacher claps like this, everyone puts their equipment down. And eyes on teacher, because it might be a new instructional rule, so it's really important to do that. A, always follow the rules. And R, respect each other and equipment. All right, guys, now if at any point you need, you know that we all know these rules and they're all over the school. So check if you need and check if you forget. All right, guys, let's get into our warm-up activity. All right, guys, now the warm-up activity we're going to be doing today is called Doran. And Doran is a traditional game played by the Coffey people in Queensland. Those are the Indigenous people to the Queensland area, to that particular Queensland area. All right, now this game is a really fun game, and we're changing it just a little bit because obviously we're a bit of a bigger class than they normally play with, all right? But here's how the game goes. We'll split into teams, two teams, about 10 people in each team, and each team will get a sash, a coloured sash. So we've got green sashes and orange sashes today, guys. I've got a special teacher sash, but you guys like green and orange sashes. So you have to put your sash, either you can choose where you want to put it. You might want to tuck it into your top. You might want to tuck it into your pants, but somewhere that other people can grab it if they need to, all right? Now what happens is we're going to spread out on the basketball court, and you guys can choose how you spread out as long as you're not too close to each other. I'm going to come into the middle and I'm going to throw the basketball up into the air. Then you have to try and catch it. Now, whatever team catches it, they have to pass the ball between each other. So throw the ball to your team members and they'll catch the ball and then they throw it to someone else. Or you can run with the ball. It's your choice if you want to throw it to a team member or if you want to run with it. But here's the thing. The other team has to try and grab the sash of whoever has the ball. So if I'm the person with the ball, the other team has to try and grab my sash. And as soon as they grab my sash, I have to throw the ball up into the air and step away from it. Because that means the other team got my sash, I can't keep hold of the ball anymore, all right? Now the aim of the game is at each end of the basketball court, I'll tell you what end your team's is. So green sashes might be at one end, orange sashes will be at the other end, and I'll say to you, orange, you're at the left end, green, you're at the right end. What you have to do is try and get the ball across the line at the end of the basketball court, and that gets your team 1 point. Okay, so each time you get the ball across the line, it's 1 point. Then we come back into the middle and I'll throw the ball back up into the air again, and we do it all over again. And we might play to 5 points or something. We'll see how long it takes us, guys. But there's a few things we need to remember. These are the only equipment we need, but there is a few things that we need to remember when we're playing this game. First of all, you can either throw the ball to a team member or run with the ball. Secondly, as soon as your sash is pulled off you, you have to stop and throw the ball up into the air. Now, when your sash has been taken off you and then you've thrown the ball up, make sure you grab your sash back and put it back on, all right? Whoever's taken your sash, you have to give sashes back, guys. That's really important. Now, a few things we need to remember because we need to be safe when we're playing, guys. We just remembered our class rules. We've got to be safe, okay? So no diving on the ball. If the ball's on the ground, you can bend down and pick it up, but no silly diving on the ball, all right? No throwing the ball really, really hard. We're passing, we are doing that throwing technique, but we're not trying to hurt people. We're just trying to throw the ball safely, okay? Another thing we need to remember, our shoelaces need to be tied up all the time. I'll pull you off the court if your shoelace isn't tied up or if you're not being safe. And lastly, when we're throwing the ball to someone, if you're throwing the ball to someone on your team, say their name as you throw the ball to them so they know. So everyone else knows that that's where the ball's going to be going. We don't want it to accidentally hit people. All right, now let's quickly check. Is that all we have to do? Right, I think we're ready to get started, guys. Let's do it.
Okay, 1-2 class. Now we're going to move into some throwing. Before we begin though, we're going to go over a few basic rules that Miss Coffey said on how to be a PE star. First of all, who can remember one of the rules Miss Coffey told us? Yes, Tim? Correct. Perfect. As soon as myself, Miss Coffey or Miss Doran claps, we put our equipment down between our legs and we have our listening ears on, ready to listen to the next instruction. Another rule? Correct, Maddie. We respect each other and the equipment. We're not throwing the ball at anyone else or anything silly like that. Anything else, guys? Perfect. Remember to always drink our water. Have it close to you. Ask one of the teachers if you need to go get some water at any time. Now, moving into throwing. These are what we want to do when we are throwing, the correct technique. We're going to make sure we are facing the target and we're going to have our belly button towards where we're throwing. We're going to step into it with our opposite foot to what we're throwing with. So if we're throwing with our right arm, we will step with our left foot. Perfect, Sarah. And lastly, remember to have your elbow reach back and follow through to the ceiling. As we can see with our professional thrower here, his belly button is facing our target. He steps forward with his left foot as he's throwing with his right arm. His elbow reaches back behind his head and he follows through to the sky. Here we'll see it in a demonstration. Perfect. Does anyone have any questions so far? Yes, April? Correct. If you're throwing with your left arm, you'll be stepping forward with your right foot. Does that make sense, everyone? Perfect. Moving into our game, guys. We're ready to have some fun? Perfect. Good to hear. This game is called Boom Ball. Here we're going to have two teams. We're going to have Team Orange and Team Blueberry. This is named after fruits in order to remind us all to eat healthy and eat nutritious foods. The aim of the game is to work in our teams and roll or throw the tennis balls into the soccer balls, which are on the middle line. We want to roll and throw the tennis balls into the soccer balls and ensure they roll over the other team's end line. Here we'll be playing the first team to score 5 points wins. Now remember, when we do score a point, it is on Team Orange and Team Blueberry to keep count of their scores to enhance our numeracy skills. Now team, in this video, there's two things wrong. Does anyone know what that is? Yes, Samuel? Correct. Only one of our players is wearing a hat. Remember, no hat, no play, no fun today. Anything else? Yes, April? Correct. Both players at one time crossed over the midline point. We cannot have anyone doing that as that is increasing our chance of getting hit by the ball. Perfect. Before we finish with our self-assessment, guys, let's remember what Boom Ball is going to provide us with. Like we said, we'll be using our numeracy skills to count and keep score. Also, we'll be required to think logically and creatively on ways we can score points to help our team win. This may be doing a fake roll or pass, or maybe collecting balls and passing on to the better throwers or rollers on the team. With our self-assessment, one of the teachers is going to come around and hand you the iPad to do your assessment on. We've done this so we promote sustainability and we're not cutting down trees or anything silly like that using more paper. This is going to help keep the environment beautiful for generations to come.
I saw some very good throwing, everyone, and everyone is being a PE star, which is good to see. Let's hope you keep it up. Now we'll be moving on to galloping. Galloping can be done using either a front or side gallop and is an exaggerated side step made up of a step and a leap. When we do galloping, there are two types we can do, as I said before. We can do front-facing galloping, which is you face forward and move in the direction you're facing. Your body should remain in an upright position. You step forward with your lead leg and foot, and you bring your back foot forward in a slide motion to meet your lead foot. You can also do side-facing gallop, where you have your body facing side on, but have your head facing forward to where you're going to go. Your body should remain upright as well, and you step sideways with your lead foot and bring your back foot in a sideways slide motion to meet your lead foot. As we can see here, they are stepping forward with their lead foot, and then they bring their other foot to meet their lead foot. And then we do it again. So we step forward with our lead foot and bring our other foot to meet it. Now let's put what we just learned into practice. We're going to play a quick game of musical freeze using galloping instead of dancing to get used to the motions. So when the music starts, everyone needs to gallop around the space, and when the music stops, everyone needs to freeze. If I see someone move when you're meant to be frozen, you'll have to do 5 star jumps before starting to gallop again. Make sure that you try both side and forward facing gallop to try to get a feel for both. Can anyone think of what we have to be careful of while doing this activity? That's right, make sure we've put all the other equipment away and always watch where you're going so you don't run into others. That was great, everyone. I saw some great galloping. Now we're going to move on to the harder and I think more fun part of the lesson. We're going to do an obstacle course. So we're going to set up an obstacle course in a line with roughly 1 meter between objects to gallop between. We'll use cones, hula hoops, hurdles, and blocks. And after the distance has been successfully galloped between, we'll reduce it to around 75 centimeters and continue to reduce the distance. We'll use a zigzag pattern to gallop through the obstacles, and we'll start with front-facing gallop and then attempt side-facing gallop. Each class member will have a partner who they will watch complete the course to complete a peer review on later, so make sure you're paying attention. Who can tell me things we have to be careful of while we are doing this activity? That's right, we need to make sure there is enough space where we are playing so we don't run into others or trip on other equipment. Make sure there are no sharp objects or anything around that we could fall on if we trip, and make sure everything from past activities has been put away. I hope everyone paid attention to their partner because we are now going to complete our peer review. We're going to go around the circle and everyone is going to say one thing their partner did well and one thing they think they could work on for next time.
Alright guys, I have been so impressed. Me and the other teachers have been so impressed with all the skills you guys have learned today. 100% you guys are better throwers and you guys are better gallopers. So good on you all. Very, very proud. Now this last activity is a bit of a warm down activity and it's a chance for you all to show us what you've learned today. Have you guys learnt much today? Yeah. Yes, of course you have. Good job guys. Alright, so this warm down activity is going to use the 2 skills we learned, which is throwing and galloping. So I'm going to put this bucket in the middle of the basketball court and we've got lots of little bean bags like this. And I'm going to put these bean bags all over the court in different spots. And you guys, when I blow the whistle, you gallop onto the basketball court, you gallop to a bean bag, pick it up, gallop to the bucket, which will be sitting in the middle of the basketball court, and underarm throws only, because we want to be safe. Underarm throw the bean bag into the bucket. And once you've thrown it into the bucket, stand behind me, sit down, grab yourself a drink of water, come sit down. Once everyone's got a bean bag into the bucket, we're going to share one thing with each other that we learnt today. Okay? So first I want to see, me and the other teachers, we want to see that galloping, we want to see that throwing. Underarm only, because we've got a lot of people going to be doing it, we need to be safe. Once you've done that, come sit down. Once everyone's got one in, we're going to share. Now, the kind of things you might want to share today when it gets to that reflection part is what you've learnt today. So you might say, today I learnt how to gallop, or today I learnt that when I'm throwing, you know, how I move my hip, how I move my feet, how I point or look at the target, that sort of thing. Then another thing you might want to do is explain part of the correct technique of galloping or throwing. You might want to say what your favourite part of the class was today. Was it one of the games we played? Was it this? And then you might want to say what the most challenging or difficult part of the class was today. I know I saw a lot of you trying really hard. When you found one of those skills difficult, you didn't give up, you kept trying. But that might have been a challenge you were overcoming. So that's great to share that stuff too, guys. We're all learning from each other and we're all learning all the time. All right, guys, so in a minute, we're going to spread out across. I'm going to put these beanbags all over the place. You're going to gallop around, grab a beanbag, toss it into the bucket, and then come sit behind me. Now, a few things we need to remember, first of all, is when you're leaning down to pick up the beanbag, you know, you're bumping heads with someone as you lean down. Second, when you're throwing into the bucket, check that no one's standing next to the bucket picking something up. They shouldn't be, but just have a quick look. And let's make sure we've got our shoelaces tied. We don't have anything else on the basketball court.